Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bittner and Ash Paulson to discuss even more what to expect from Nintendo in 2015. This time touching on more GameCube HD remakes, DLC expectations, the new 3DS, and lots more. So let's get started.
One of the things I'm curious about, and I've seen a lot of people ask about, or hope for this to happen, is will we see more HD remakes?
I hope so.
Because that is a thing that's becoming a lot more common. Like just recently we got news that DMC and Devil May Cry 4 are both getting re-releases on the PS4. The same thing's happening, of course, with Final Fantasy X, X-2 getting PS4 ports. Like all these games, even from just last generation, are getting upgraded to go into the current generation. So they already did it with Zelda. That proved to be very popular, and I'm seeing a ton of people asking for that same sort of treatment for Sunshine. I mean, it seems crazy to me that Nintendo wouldn't capitalize on this, because they could really, one, improve the game, two, it'd be a lot quicker and easier. And we're already sort of seeing that with Majora's Mask, but they said that they got to work on that immediately after Ocarina of Time. So Nintendo's not exactly one to do quick, easy ports of this stuff. So that might be why we're not seeing as many HD remakes as we do from other companies. Yeah,
I mean, I was a big fan of Wind Waker HD, which it's still weird for me to saying that. I didn't like the original Wind Waker at all.
Heathen.
So I would love for them to update other GameCube games in that way, and I feel like they have to, because they they did create software to do the Wind Waker HD conversion, which they said allows them to easily port assets from the GameCube to the Wii U. So it would be a waste not to make more use of that. Which would essentially, allow them to introduce titles which are effectively new to a huge part of their demographic now. So many younger gamers who weren't even born at the time the GameCube was around.
Like that'd be the best way to get people familiar with F-Zero's gameplay, is just do a HD port of F-Zero GX. That I can see a lot of people getting really hyped for that, because that's a great game. It's hard, but it's a great game.
Yeah, it really is.
And all kinds of, you could do the original Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine. They could go into some Wii games even. My God, HD Mario Galaxy.
How's that not happened yet? Right?
Yeah, I know. That could be amazing.
Oh, that really would be. Oh my God, that would be so good.
Just look at the Mario Galaxy stage in Smash Brothers for Wii U. I mean, it's that for a whole game. Okay, I would take that in a second.
Yeah, right. And actually, that actually raises a good point. We have not had there was Mario 3D World, but we haven't had a Mario Galaxy caliber Mario game yet. A genre or Mario defining game yet for the system, in my opinion at least. Maybe some people would argue 3D World is that game, but we know the Tokyo team hasn't done anything really besides Captain Toad since then, and I don't think that took all their resources. So do you think we'll see another true 3D Mario at this year's E3? Because if we do, I feel like an HD pack of the first two Mario Galaxies could be a great supplementary game to announce at that same time.
Well, I mentioned this earlier, actually. I touched on it, and I do think that we are going to see another 3D Mario game in the Wii U's lifespan. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got maybe a little teaser for Super Mario Galaxy 3 at E3. And I don't think it'll be a 2015 release at all. I think it would be 2016. But I do have this feeling that the Tokyo team is not done. I think, at least with the Wii U, I think they are going to do one more, Mario magnum opus. I don't think. 3D World is great in a lot of ways, but I don't think that is going to be the Wii U's defining Mario game. I think there's something else coming.
Mario Maker is already going to be the defining game.
Well, and I mean in terms of a big single player 3D Mario.
Right. No, I gotcha.
So I do think we could get a teaser for a Mario Galaxy 3, and hopefully HD remakes of 1 and 2. I would be completely down for that.
Yep.
One thing we haven't really taken into account yet, talking about Nintendo's 2015 lineup, is DLC. And we actually know they have quite a bit of DLC supporting their 2014 titles, kind of throughout at least the first half of the year. I mean, we've got Hyrule Warriors DLC coming in February and March. And then we've got Mario Kart 8 DLC coming in May. And then we don't know when the Smash Brothers DLC is coming in terms of the tournament stuff and the Miiverse stage. We know Mewtwo's coming sometime in May, but do you think we could see some more DLC kind of announced for the second half of the year to keep supporting all these titles? They're doing a pretty good job with it.
Oh, I'm confident we will. And I feel like even for Smash Brothers, it's probably a safe bet. like Sakurai's been playing coy recently. I mean, well, not really coy, but he's been pretty straight up with the fact that they only started working on Mewtwo, and they haven't really thought about DLC beyond that. With that said, they would be dumb not to create more DLC for Smash Brothers.
Right.
I mean, unless the only explanation would be is if Mario Kart DLC didn't do well, which I can't imagine it didn't.
It had to have done
yeah,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Smash Brothers is their biggest game, Mario Kart aside, so far.
Right.
So I feel like we'll definitely see more stuff for Smash Brothers. They just haven't started working on it yet. And, kind of like Mario Kart, they didn't start working on that till after the game came out, but we have tons more coming for it, so.
Exactly.
No, I could totally see that happening. I don't know if they'll continue the DLC for those 2014 titles, or if we'll get more, start getting DLC for this one. Like Mario Party, that's a great title for DLC packs, just because you could include classic boards from across the Mario Party series and adapt them to
add new minigame packs
and minigame packs and that sort of thing. That'd be a great game for that sort of DLC type. Splatoon, there's always packs for new stages and stuff like that for shooters and stuff like that.
Actually, would be a perfect fit, right? Just new arenas and everything, or new characters even.
Yeah, new customization options, because it really seems like you'll be able to customize your squidlings and how they look. So there's already games that'll really
you forgot the most important part, the most potential here being horse armor in Zelda Wii U.
Oh God, why?
God. Nobody's made a way to date yourself, Andre. Nobody's made a joke about horse armor in years.
I gotta agree with Derek there. It's been a while.
Bringing it back when you least expect it.
Thankfully, I don't think Nintendo will do anything like that. Maybe you'll get a classic Ocarina of Time Epona skin like they did in Hyrule Warriors. But me, I don't know about.
No, I kind of hope actually that Zelda doesn't really see any DLC at all.
Yeah, I agree. That is one title I do not want to see any DLC for. I don't know how. I don't care how good it is. It
cheapens it.
It feels like it would cheapen.
I agree.
Yeah, it would cheapen it. It works for Hyrule Warriors. It's perfect for a game like Hyrule Warriors, but not classic Zelda.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys about the 3DS, which is that of the three games we know, the three Nintendo games we know for the 3DS coming in 2015, two of them, Majora's Mask 3D and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, have extra features that are supported only when you play it on the new Nintendo 3DS.
Right.
So given that, when do you guys think we'll see the new 3DS released in the US?
Now, I didn't actually hear that the Majora's Mask 3D had stuff only available on the new 3DS.
It's apparently minor, but it's just certain gameplay optimizations from what they have said. It's not going to be anything that, you can't play the game on the original 3DS, obviously, but apparently there are certain minor things that will enhance the game only on the new 3DS.
Sounds a little bit like how Game Boy Color games worked, or how many of them worked. Yeah. I'm going to guess. I'm thinking they'd aim for a spring release date. Actually, this will probably be part of their upcoming Direct. They will announce the release date for the new 3DS, and I think they'll aim for maybe March. That's when the Game Boy SP came out. And I think that's when I think Game Boys typically have come out, and I haven't kept up with when the revisions of the DS came out. But I think it makes sense, for that to be a pre-E3 release.
What I feel like it would have to come out before Majora's Mask and or Xenoblade, because they're going to want to cross-promote the two, the games such that, hey, you should get a new 3DS because these run or these play better on the new 3DS. So I feel like that means we could be seeing both of those games and the new 3DS before E3.
I could totally see them doing a new 3DS bundle with Majora's Mask. I can, so many people, hardcore fans of Majora's Mask, would get that system just for that.
Oh, it could come with a Majora's Mask faceplate?
Yeah, a purple one. That would be the coolest.
Oh, it would be. Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I would buy that in a second.
So it would make sense. They definitely need to have it out before Majora's Mask, if only so they can do a bundle like that. I do wonder, they have this new system coming out, but as we see right here, there's so few games coming out for the 3DS, and it's that one of the things that Nintendo's splitting focus and not able to support one over the other. So is this really going to be the limit that we see when it comes to the 3DS this year?
There's no way.
Are we really going to
get more?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it quite as excitedly as Ash did.
but I just mean, but there has to be more.
Yeah, there has to be more. I don't think there'll be that much more necessarily.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, Nintendo does have trouble supporting multiple systems at the same time, and I think we may be seeing a slower year for the 3DS. In order to have the Wii U have the strong year that it seems to.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I hope to see more out of the system because I do enjoy the little thing. It's always it always has some really great games, and it had a pretty good year last year. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a lot more support out of it, if only out of third parties. Like, we could possibly be getting Bravely Second, which Bravely Default was a huge, surprisingly huge release back in February of last year. So if they can get Bravely Second out here, that'd be a nice push for the 3DS. And I think there's a couple other third-party games that would help give the 3DS some life that's maybe not from Nintendo.
Oh, and they did say, though, didn't they, that there's a new Zelda game in development for the 3DS? Now, this was before, I believe, before they confirmed Majora's Mask 3D. But the way they were talking about it makes me think it's actually going to be a new Zelda game coming to the 3DS. And I think, what's interesting is, actually, they could be following a Majora's Mask model, where they reuse existing assets, or at least a game engine from, in this case, A Link Between Worlds, for another new Zelda game. And I think that would actually make a ton of sense for them to do.
Potentially, but it seems kind of odd to me to do another Zelda 3DS title this year. Especially since we already have Majora's Mask at the beginning of the year, likely Zelda Wii U at the end of the year. That's a lot of Zelda in 1 year. So that seems much more likely for a 2016 sort of thing if they do another Zelda 3DS game.
Yeah, I mean, they could announce it and just release it next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think if anything, it would be an early 2016 release or maybe mid. I don't think we're going to see another Zelda 3DS title this year, basically for the reasons you stated, Derek. But I do think that the 3DS is really going to be carried by third parties this year, kind of like it was last year as well. But I think even more. I mean, one of the first major releases I know a lot of people are excited for is, I think it's in January, which is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And I'm not personally a Monster Hunter fan, but that's going to get huge attention and huge draw, and probably going to sell very well. So, I mean, the 3DS, while even if it doesn't have a whole lot of first-party titles announced yet, I think we are going to see some pretty strong support throughout the year from third parties. With Monster Hunter 4, Bravely Default, we've got a new Hatsune Miku game coming for fans of more oddball titles. So, I do think the 3DS is looking to have a pretty strong 2015, at least in terms of third parties.
Mm-hmm. And there's always the chance of them doing another Pokemon game for the fall.
Yeah.
Probably more than likely be Pokemon Z or Pokemon X and Y 2 or something to that effect. Although personally, I hope they take a year off because I'm getting a little burnt out on Pokemon.
I don't blame you. And there's also Mighty Number 9, which is coming out probably around April, which is going to be something a lot of Nintendo fans are excited about because it's a classic Mega Man title with a new character and slightly different gameplay, but it's, for all intents and purposes, a new Mega Man style game. Mm-hmm. And that's coming out on every system under the sun, including Wii U and 3DS. So that's going to be pretty big for both systems. And then we've also got DLC for Shovel Knight coming, which I think is free. Actually, we've got free Shovel Knight DLC that they're adding like 3 new playable character story modes. They're adding a Smash Brothers like multiplayer battle mode. So we're going to get a ton of new content for that game as well. So I think the 3DS is going to get some pretty cool stuff from third parties at least.
Now, do you guys have any other expectations for Nintendo this year? Like, do you think we'll hear more about the quality of life platform they're working on? Or, do you have any other general expectations or hopes from Nintendo this year?
No, I mean, quality of life, I mean, maybe we might hear about that more at, like, shareholder meetings. I don't necessarily think there's going to be an E3, a thing, of a big gaming-related thing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll probably hear something more about that. In terms of general expectations, though, I mean, I can fall back on the ones that I always want, which is a new Metroid, a new F-Zero, Mother 3 localization, the same one that every Nintendo fan wants, but in terms of, I can't really think of any other specific ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like, I just hope Nintendo does well and provides me enough games that I would enjoy. I mean, I'm past the point where I can expect anything out of them because you don't want to get your hopes up and crushed again and again. You can only do it for so long. Mother fans will attest to that. But I still think Nintendo has a chance at a very good year, and that's all I hope for. I hope they just keep it consistent and keep the games coming. At least there's something new for me to play every month, whether on the 3DS or the Wii U, and keep me coming back to their systems, which is something they did really well last year. And kept me, as I probably played the Wii U more than any other system last year, which is kind of incredible to me because 2012, I think it was, it pretty much gathered dust.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think as long as they keep up this momentum, if they can keep that up, I'll be perfectly happy with Nintendo. As far as their quality of life stuff, I don't care.
Right.
I'm curious
care at all.
just to see what it is, but yeah, I mean, as you know, it's not. I don't think it's meant to appeal to us, but we'll see. I don't know. But I am actually just curious to see what they're doing from a business standpoint. So.
Well, and actually, I did think of one thing. I do hope that they continue. They've been kind of on an upswing with the Wii U Virtual Console lately. They've been kind of gaining momentum and having a lot of quality game releases pretty consistently. So I do hope that they keep kind of on that uptick of Virtual Console releases. Keep pushing that, and hopefully we'll finally get N64 Virtual Console support for the Wii U, because that was announced almost 2 years ago now, and I really hope that finally happens.
God, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of embarrassing that, it's not on the Wii U at all, whereas you can go back to the Wii and play a bunch of them, or...
Yeah.
So.
No, it is weird. I mean, and I have to say, the Game Boy Advance games, as little sense as it makes not to have them on the 3DS Virtual Console, they actually do play and look really look great on the Wii U. I love the visual filters you have available. So I've enjoyed having Game Boy Advance games on my Wii U, but I do hope that we get, some N64 stuff, and just, more quality releases. The Virtual Console has been very inconsistent on the Wii U, but it has been on the upswing lately, so hopefully that can continue.
Alright, well, I think that wraps up for our discussion of Nintendo in 2015, so hopefully their year is as good as we think it is, and I'm looking forward to what all they're going to announce. Well, thanks guys for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, which you can find links to in the description below. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more on Nintendo and other things gaming as well. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.